Last season did not quite go the way the Clippers envisioned. Despite adding Finals MVP in Kawhi Leonard and an MVP finalist in Paul George, the Clippers failed to make the Western Conference Finals, something the franchise still has not done in its entire team history. And now that both Kawhi and Paul George's contracts have opt-outs after this coming season, it begs the question, Ramona, should the Clippers be concerned with either of their stars exiting next summer?
You know what? I think they have to have a sense of urgency. I don't think you need to be concerned. Paul George has said, I know he said it to you, Rachel. I remember him saying it when he literally joined the team. I want to retire a Clipper. That's the plan. He's from here. He's happy here. Kawhi Leonard is I'd be, I guess, a little concerned that if they had a terrible year this year, he could leave. But he's also from Los Angeles. He came here to win. I think they need to be concerned that the window would be closing. But the reason why those two guys signed those type of deals is because so they can sign another longer-term deal at some point, not because they want to leave. The question, though, is really what they need to make this team better. And I think what we learned last year is that your leader cannot be your coach. The loudest voice in the room cannot be your coach. It has to be somebody on the court. And I think Ty Lue's going to give them a different type of style. But I think in this offseason, they really need to acquire a true point guard and somebody who can bring some leadership ability because Kawhi Leonard missed that Kyle Lowry type point guard. Paul George missed a point guard getting him the ball in the spots that he wants it. No knock on Patrick Beverley, who we all love, but that's not his game. And Kawhi Leonard, frankly, is not LeBron James. He can't just slide over and say, oh, we don't have a real point guard, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. That's not his game either.
Right.
I think Ramona's right. I mean, both these guys signed with the intention of staying in Los Angeles, but have you paid any attention to the NBA in the last 5 years? Like, you take a nap for a month and 17 star players have changed teams. Anything is possible. There's no scenario that's too crazy. If this year goes really wrong somehow, like, of course they should be concerned. They should also be concerned about the flip side, though, is these guys' next contracts are going to take them into their early mid-30s, and they're going to be max contracts. Like, they're going to be paying on the back end of those contracts, which is why, to Ramona's point, these next 1, 2, 3 seasons are absolutely critical and urgent for the Clippers. If they are going to win a title, their best shot is right now, and they need to really get it right starting this year, starting with Ty Lue, and as Ramona hinted at, maybe tweaking the roster a little bit.
Yes, Ramona, I'm just going to say it. There's a guy with a loud on-court voice who knows how to wear a Clippers uniform, who is apparently on the trading block right now. So I'm not going to say Chris Paul's name, but someone should. All right, the Clippers also have several key contributors entering free agency on the flip side, including Sixth Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell, as well as midseason additions, Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson. JaMychal Green has yet to decide if he will opt in or out to his $5 million player option. So, Ramona, without a lot of flexibility in the cap, how should the Clippers approach the remainder of this short offseason? Do they go big game hunting? Is there a possibility of Chris Paul coming back? What do they do with these guys on the board who are their own free agents?
Yeah, look, when Chris Paul left the Clippers, I would have said, no way could I see him return to the Clippers one day because he wanted to go, okay? This wasn't just, them not wanting to give him the 5-year deal. Mm-hmm. It was Chris being tired of the Clippers. But let me remind you, Chris Paul's family did not move from Los Angeles last year, okay? They still are here. He's never won, and this is a team that's ready-made to win. I don't think that bridge was burned. I mean, maybe it was knocked down a little bit. We could put some planks back in. But I think their priority this offseason has to be getting a point guard. If it's not like a big trade for Chris Paul, I think it'd be hard for them to have the kind of assets to acquire Chris Paul via trade. If it's a one-to-one deal, they'd have to probably involve a third team there. But there's another guy, I don't know, that was like playing on the Lakers last year who was maligned during the season, but then came alive in the playoffs and won another ring, playoff Rondo. I don't know if he's free agent too, if they can get him.
First of all, it would be pretty incredible if the Clippers traded all the guys they got from the Rockets for Chris Paul to the Thunder to get Chris Paul back. That would be pretty incredible. But the Clippers, The Clippers are in a tough spot because they have no path to cap space, meaning if any of their outgoing free agents walk, they can't really replace them. So they'll cross their fingers, JaMychal Green opts in. They'll probably re-sign Marcus Morris. And then the big piece becomes Montrezl Harrell. That's a player they cannot afford to lose for nothing. Some of the cap space seems may or not be interested in him. Their interest level is unclear. Can they turn him into a sign-and trade for that point guard that we're talking about, that elusive playmaker? Do they keep him on a 2-year, $30 million deal or something because the market for him is a little cooler than expected, and then turn him into something at the trade deadline? Montrezl Harrell is the player that I'm watching most closely for them.
Very interesting. Well, certainly a team that wants to be in top contention this season, so we expect to see them making moves, and they're going to have to make them in like the next 3 weeks because that's when training camp starts. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.